Today, we're going to talk about something that a ton of people go through, but almost no one has a name for. It's this intense internal storm called rejection sensitive dysphoria. It can feel like you're completely losing control. So we're going to pull back the curtain on what it is, why it's happening, and, most importantly, what you can actually do about it.
Listen to how people describe this. It's not just, oh, my feelings were hurt. It's described with this incredibly physical language. We're talking about a gut punch, a real physical pain that just stops you in your tracks. It feels as real as breaking a bone.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had a small, kind of awkward moment that you just can't stop replaying in your head for days, or felt this huge wave of shame just because a friend had to cancel plans? If you're that type of person, then this explainer is absolutely for you. You're not too sensitive, and you are so not alone in this.
Okay, now check this out because this number is pretty staggering. When we look at the neurodivergent community, this isn't just a small thing. One leading researcher, Dr. William Dodson, found that up to 99% of adults with ADHD say they experience this extreme sensitivity. 99%? It's practically a universal experience for this crowd, but it's still something we barely talk about.
So let's put a really simple, practical definition on this. Rejection Sensitive Dysphoria, or RSD, isn't just feeling bummed out. It's a neurological lightning storm. And the most important word on this whole slide is that one right there, perceived. It can absolutely be triggered by real rejection, sure, but it's just as often kicked off by the fear of it or you just thinking you're being rejected. And that's what makes it so tricky.
Let's make this super clear. Picture this. A friend cancels on you. The typical response? Yeah, you're disappointed, a little annoyed maybe. You text no worries and you move on. But for someone with RSD, that same exact event can launch a complete emotional nosedive. Suddenly, it's not about the plans anymore. It's a whole story you're telling yourself about being annoying or a burden or that they secretly hate you. The internal reaction isn't just different, it's on a whole other planet.
Which brings us to the biggest question of all. Why? Why does this hurt so unbelievably much? Well, the answer isn't that you're broken or flawed. It's actually right there in the wiring of your brain.
Okay, here's the hidden piece of the puzzle that almost nobody talks about. When scientists put people in brain scanners, they found that social rejection lights up the exact same parts of the brain as physical pain does. So when someone says rejection feels like a punch to the gut, their brain is literally screaming, yep, that's what's happening. It's not a metaphor.
So let's explore that a little more. Think of your brain's emotional center, the amygdala, as a smoke detector. In a brain with RSD, that smoke detector goes off, big time. But instead of the signal going to the logical part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, to get checked out, it's like it has an all-access pass to bypass security and go straight to the main stage. And the end result of that whole process? It's an emotional flood. There's no filter, no dimmer switch. You get hit with the raw, 100-proof, full intensity of that emotion. And that cause and effect chain is exactly why you can't just logic your way out of it in that moment. The logic center was never even consulted. Okay, so this really intense internal feeling, well, it has to go somewhere, right? It ends up shaping our behavior in big ways. Let's look at the four most common patterns that people develop to try and avoid feeling that awful, devastating pain. If you're this type of person, see if any of these sound familiar. You might become a chronic people pleaser, just running yourself into the ground to make sure no one could possibly be upset with you. Or you might just start avoiding things, like not going for that promotion because you're terrified of the feedback. Some people go the other way, with these sudden defensive outbursts to push the threat away. And a whole lot of us become perfectionists, thinking, if I'm just flawless, no one can ever criticize me. It's a whole framework for protecting yourself that, honestly, usually ends up hurting you more. And you can imagine what this does to relationships. It's often described as feeling like you're walking on eggshells, because a completely neutral tone of voice from a partner can be instantly misinterpreted as, oh my God, they're mad at me, this is the beginning of the end. That constant hunt for hidden negative meanings is just exhausting for everybody.
Look, understanding all this is a huge first step. But what do we do? Let's get into a really practical, safe, and totally doable toolkit you can use the next time you feel that emotional wave starting to build.
All right, this is a simple framework called the 4 Rs, and it's a total game changer. It's a clear, structured way to just hit the pause button. First, recognize. You just say it in your head, okay, this is RSD. Just naming it creates a little bit of space. Second, reflect. Ask yourself, what's the scary story I'm telling myself right now? Third, Reframe. Try to find just one other possible, less personal explanation. Maybe your friend is just tired, not mad at you. And finally, the most important one, respond instead of reacting. That means you choose to take a deep breath. You choose to wait 10 minutes before texting back. This simple, step-by-step process puts you back in charge.
That tool for the heat of the moment is absolutely crucial, but for the long haul, building real resilience means bringing in some other proven support systems.
Here are some of the most well-established, safe options out there. Therapies like CBT and DBT are fantastic for learning how to challenge those automatic negative thoughts. For some people, certain medications can really help calm down that underlying neurology. And things like mindfulness are amazing for practicing that all-important pause. The big takeaway here is that RSD is something you can absolutely learn to manage. There is hope and there is help. So we've got the tools and we've got the brain science, but it kind of leads to one last much deeper question, doesn't it? We know the brain can be wired this way, but how do our own life stories, our earliest experiences, our past hurts, how do they carve those pathways even deeper? It's just a reminder that healing isn't always about managing brain chemistry, but sometimes it's about understanding our own hearts.
If this touched your heart, please subscribe, like, and share it with your family. Save this for more meaningful content ahead.